Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your invitation. My name is Thomas Walloschke. I have the honor to speak about what you call European industry. We call it all European industry, but it's a lot of different in detail. So I will start with an unplanned discussion. Piers, you just started in the beginning talking about an incident. This incident is at the end, we have old devices in the field. Nobody talks about this, but this was one of the attacks in 2016 called Mirai, if you remember. And just talking about this issue, I came to the conclusion to look up in my translator if the German word Abwrackprämie has a translated word, but it has not. So I can talk about the Abwrackprämie, about devices which are not secure. This is an interesting thought, and I have it, because from the point of security, it's absolutely not acceptable that we use devices which can kill us every day. So this is, in some way, to speak freely, because this is normally my style to do, but I was a little bit prepared to talk about what you like to hear about AIOTI, perhaps. So at the end, it's important to see what is AIOTI. AIOTI is the Alliance of Internet of Things Innovation. It's called in that way because some of the founders, I'm not sure, may be in this room. If not, you are indirectly part of that. In 2015, AIOTI was founded by the Commission, and at that time was a loose network of companies and interested persons in this technology all together here in Brussels. And in 2016, the Commission stepped out, and the AIOTI transformed to a registered association, and under Belgian law with today 200 member companies. So this is an interested association in which interested companies wants to know something about IoT, but IoT itself, as we just heard, is not a technology you can use. This is embedded in all the details you have in other products. So at the end, this is, you have to understand, we don't talk about IoTI itself. We talk about the conjunction with others. So we started, for example, allying to the opposite. We just talked about analytics, and analytics is done with AI. So at the end, we play together from the aspect of an IoT device together with the analytics. This is ecosystem, growing ecosystem, and this is the same in AIOTI. We start a new approach about, for example, ledger technology. Most call it blockchain, but this is not the intention to talk about blockchain. It's the intention to talk about the technology in conjunction with others. So the AIOTI is structured in 13 working groups. And one of them is represented by me, just we heard it. And yes, we have a steering board, and all the chairs are member of the steering board, and we have a 5-person management board. And at the end, I have the honor to be guided by our Secretary General, and Damir Filipovic, and thankfully he is here to help me because my first time here, and so that everything is running smoothly. So at the end, we heard about the market is addressing SMEs, and I'm coming from a large enterprise, so my company is thinking in larger, bigger dimensions, but our company is structured in a way that we can say we have 400 companies in one. So at the end, I sometimes think like a SME, but I'm not. So nobody will see us as a SME, but the requirements are absolutely similar. So I can feel approximately what our members are thinking. And I'm responsible for the region EMEA, which is EMEA plus India. So my interest is to understand industrial security. And now, this is enough for AIOTI, and we are going to the Internet of Things. So I asked my members in preparation for today. So this is not only my stuff, this is stuff coming from our collaboration. And the Internet of Things, together with the digitalization of manufacturing, brings about disruptive innovation in production, as we know, with a significant impact of improved efficiency and increased sustainability, lower design and operating costs, and increased competitiveness. This is, of course, a good story. The so-called smart factory, we just heard it about, is emerging as the new model for production process, fully exploiting the potential of IoT, digitalization, additive manufacturing, and artificial intelligence. So all the buzzwords you ever heard in one sentence. So this is perfect. This is what we are doing. Therefore, so to remain competitive, European industry needs to embrace the latest technologies. Wait a minute. We need the latest technologies. Continuously develop innovative manufacturing solutions on their on their factory floor. You know what a factory floor is? This is where the people are working. So normally you don't see them, but they are producing the products, and increase their worldwide market share while creating more secure and sustainable supply chain. And this is another approach. We should talk about the supply chain security requirements. Later on, I have a lot of stories, so we should think about what can help us to be not part of a stranger and sell our own details and not the details of others. Discussion about IoT often focus on this is a lack on technology possibilities. The economic benefit achieved are not often articulated. Instead of technology opportunities to new managed value-added processes over the entire lifetime of products should be discussed. This is an approach not talking about products, please. Think in value-added services as well. This convincingly illustrates a benefit that especially is understood by the manufacturing industry. However, one has to accept that the requirements in the manufacturing industry are very heterogeneous, and therefore a one-fits-all approach will not succeed. Of course not. I myself invited to see all the factories in our company, and it's absolutely not comparable to our customers. Our customers have different factories, different approaches, but all want to do, at the end, Industry 4.0. We observe that manufacturing companies are becoming increasingly open-minded in defining their own role in future value networks and in using advanced models of collaboration. Often large companies provide platforms and components. Mostly medium-sized companies provide their own solution and business models on top of these platforms and components. These solutions are integrated into the value-added process on their customers and create benefits. All together a super perfect story. So we can look to the reality. Reality is in Hanover. Hanover is some Hanover Fair. And what can we see? We see these days that event gives the clear impression that the Internet of Things actually reaches the European industry. This is important to say because the marketing guys started years ago an offensive talking about Industry 4.0, but there was no. So they called it Industry 4.0, but they had no idea what it is. Now, years later, they started products, and these products can really be called Industry 4.0 products. Well, the industry label is now expecting increasing significant values this year. So only I had a look to the internet site, page to Hanover Fair, and I found exactly 10 topics. And these topics are Industry 4.0, integrated energy, smart supply, predictive maintenance, cobots. You know what a cobot is? A cobot is a collaborative robot. Sitting here, talking together with you, looking at you and being your slave. He will do what you need. This is a cobot. And this is used in the industry in the production line. And these guys are very interesting toys. So, lightweighted construction, digital twin, artificial intelligence, platform economics, and logistics. And it's interesting, if you look to these terms, you should know perhaps 9 of 10 of them. So behind 9 of 10 of them is the technology of Internet of Things. At the end, some explanations has to be done. All these buzzwords are using technologies from this Internet of Things buzzword technology. If we have time, I don't know. I will speak about, okay, I'm prepared to speak a little bit about France. Some words about France and the machine tool manufacturer and their participation in the Hanover Fair 2018. The topic of these companies are, and this is interesting, additive manufacturing. You know what it is? Additive manufacturing is a technology where you can see a device is built before your eyes in the air, and you don't know where this is coming from. Suddenly there's a motor. Oh, this is a high-tech solution. I don't want to explain it, but this is absolutely one of the latest technologies, laser technology. And this is only possible with Industry 4.0-like technology and high-tech. Automation, workflow management and robotics, digitization of the value chain, energy efficiency, monitoring and control, new materials and composites, and the role of people. We didn't talk about this human factor today, but this is, from my point of view, one of the crucial things to understand that we need new education. But this is not part of my speech. Then we look to France and see they have an association called Alliance Industrie du Futur, and this brings together, since 2015, professional organizations from industry and digital technology, along with the academic and technology partners, all rallying around a common ambition to make France the leader in the world's industry renewal. This organization is tasked with putting into practice the national industry of the future, projects launched by the French government in April 2015 in the framework of the organization of the new phase of industry of France. And this organization has a particular mandate to support companies in the transformation of their business models, their organization, their design, and their marketing methods in a world in which new tools based, for example, in the digital, in additive manufacturing, in new material, and in advanced robotics, are bringing down the barriers between industry and services. 6 priorities are in action, have been identified. Help companies adopt the industry of the future, developing cutting-edge technology, employees training. This means upskilling the industrial workforce and training the next generations. Promote the French industry of the future, reinforce standardization initiative and at an international level. Build in the technology legacy. This is the program. And that reminds me, we have the same or similar association at home. I'm from Germany, as you know, and the German Platform 4.0 is primary objective to secure and develop Germany's top international position in industrial manufacturing The platform aims to promote digital structure change and to provide the consistent and reliable framework necessary for this. The most networked the economy becomes, the more cooperation, participation and coordination of all stakeholders is needed. The platform goal is therefore to develop a consistent overall understanding of Industry 4.0 through dialogue with business, trade unions, science and government. To draw up relevant recommendations for actions and demonstrate the example applications how industrial manufacturing can be digitized successfully in practice. Having heard one, I can give you 11 others, but I don't want to bother you today. Every country has a vision what to do. And Industry 4.0 combines production methods with state-of-the-art information and communication technologies. So at the end, I don't want to go too deep in, but with 250 participants from more than 100 organizations, Platform Industry 4.0 is the largest and most diverse Industry 4.0 network worldwide. Wow. Even at this early stage, Platform 4.0 is the current form of a model for many other countries, yes, as we saw before. So, I'm coming to the end. The German, French, and Italian initiative to digitize production have agreed a trilateral cooperation to strengthen and support digitization processes in their respective manufacturing areas. So, suddenly we have three. Allow me at that point, with regard to the process time, to give you a brief summary. IoT, AI, and robotics. Analytics, sensor technology, and many, many other technologies have made the leap into European industry. And as everybody knows, there is a disruptive growth market in which, in principle, all signs are geared towards success and growth. It's now important to take people by the hand, especially those who work in the shop floor, and teach them their new skills, which will be soon have to be available. Thank you for your patience, and I'm looking forward for your questions.